You probably don't even realize it, but there's a good chance your first book is 50 to 90% written, and it won't take much effort on your part to see your name on the bookshelves right next to some of the biggest stars once you complete it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to convert your YouTube videos, podcasts, and/or blog posts into a book that will boost your income and skyrocket your credibility. Make sure you stick around until the end when I share the simple way those who don't bother with scripts can still achieve this goal. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do is select your topic. Now, for most of you, this will be a no-brainer. You'll pick the topic you are most familiar with, the stuff you regularly make videos about, podcast about, or blog about. Concerned that the topic you want to write about is already covered by other authors? Don't be. Almost any topic you can come up with will have already been covered by someone else. But that doesn't mean there isn't room for your book and your unique perspective. Why am I so sure this method will work? Because I've done it myself over 20 times. So let's get started. Grab a pad and a pen or a tablet or whatever it is you like to take notes on. Write the working title of your book on top. Remember, I said working title. Then list out what you think the chapter headings will be. Don't focus on making them fancy or cute. Make them clear-cut so that when you go back and look at this work, you will know exactly what was meant. You should have at least 12 and no more than, well, there's no maximum, but for your first effort, I'd say try and limit it to 25. So 12 to 25 topics. Now, at this point, you may be scratching your head thinking, why would I want to do this? There are three main reasons: money, reputation, and an increased audience. Of course, increased audience means more money, but I want to separate the two of them out. Income from a book is extremely unlikely to cannibalize your income streams from a podcast, a blog, or a YouTube video. So it is an entirely new revenue stream. Then there's the issue of your standing within your community. Nothing screams expert or thought leader louder than a book. It cements your status as a leading thought leader in your field. And lastly, it will open your work up to new audiences. And that is always a good thing. So now that I've convinced you that this is a good thing to do, let's get back to that outline. Once you've got your main topics, go back to your outline, which remember is going to be anywhere from 12 to, let's say, 25 topics, and add 5 to 10 subtopics under each main topic. So, for example, if one of your chapters, if you were a chef and you were thinking about putting together a cookbook, if one of your chapters was eggs, you might have under the eggs headings like omelets, frittatas, quiches, scrambled, fried, international. As you work through this outline, adding subtopics, you may discover that one of your main topics could be broken down into two broader topics. As you work your way through this outline, adding subtopics, you may discover that one of your main topics should be broken into two, or what you thought would be a main topic actually only merits part of a larger chapter. Remember, this is a working outline and will continually change, and you'll continue to move and shift things around. When you are confident that you've gotten the outline as far as you can, stop working on it and proceed to the next step. Now, just because you stopped working on it doesn't mean you can't go back and make changes later on, but you're ready to move on. Set up a folder for your book on your computer. You're going to put everything related to it in this folder, and then set up a new document for each chapter. You can name the documents chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, etc. Or if you like, you can use their factual names. Again, going back to the recipes, eggs, cakes, lunches, whatever. Don't forget to save your main document, which in something called outline. Not very original, but you can always find it. Once you've got a document set up for each chapter, even though there's nothing in it, go back to your outline and copy and paste the chapter name or your main topic and the subtopics into each document. So going back to our egg example, we'd have one document that shows the egg heading or the egg type, the title, the chapter name, egg, followed by omelets, frittatas, quiches, scrambled, fried, international. Now here's where the magic happens. If you don't have scripts, don't despair. Your magic is coming in another minute or two. You need to let me get through this bit first. So now you're ready. Start going through your scripts and your blog posts, and every time you find one that is appropriate to be included in one of your subheadings, copy and paste it into the document under the appropriate subheading. If you've been creating content for a while, you'll find that you have most of your subheadings covered. You also may have in your mind different pieces that you've done that you know that you want to put in certain places, and you can put them in. This is the point where you may discover that you have to further subdivide a topic into 2 or more chapters, or you don't have enough to cover in a chapter. But before you give up on a chapter, keep in mind that all chapters do not have to be the same length. You have to be able to squeeze, though, a few pages out to have a chapter. Now, to be clear, and I want to be very clear about this, even if you copy and paste into every last subtopic you have, your book is not ready to go, but you've got a good start. When you've finished and there's nothing left to copy and paste, go through and make notes of those subtopics that have nothing under them. Are they necessary? Will the book be complete without them? If the book can stand on its own 2 feet without them, do you want to eliminate them? Or maybe you want to create some content around them during the reverse of what you're doing creating the book. You could write part of the book and to kind of reverse engineer it, if you will, into a YouTube video, a podcast, or a blog post, or whatever. Once you've decided what to do about the missing pieces, you're ready to whip what you've created into shape. If you have any of the following in your scripts, and I suspect most of you will need to delete them from your manuscript. Everybody needs to do this. There are no exceptions. Here's what doesn't work in a book. Asking people to like, subscribe, or comment. Telling people about yourself. Any welcome to my channel remark. Any comments about upcoming videos or podcasts. Any remarks about check out my channel, my blog, or my podcast. Any end of the video request to click on a link to watch another video. And for that matter, any other call to action, any CTA that might work on a particular platform, but not in a book. You get the idea. These things we've been talking about, they just don't work in a book. The next thing you'll need to do, I'm not finished cutting stuff out. The next thing you'll need to do is look at your introductions for each piece. If they contain a strong hook to induce people to keep watching or listening, evaluate whether they are needed in the book. Do they make sense? But you say, what if you don't have scripts? What can you do? What if you are able to just get in front of the microphone and start talking and you're brilliant? Well, it's not lost. I'm going to show you how to get your manuscript. Step 1. Go onto YouTube and pull up the video that you want to get this transcript from. Step 2, start playing that video. Turn the sound off if you don't want to listen to yourself. Step 3, scroll down to the description and hit the sign that says more. Step 4, when it expands, scroll down to where it says show transcript. Click on that. The transcript will show up on the the transcript will show up on the right of your screen. You may have to scroll down a little. Now, next to where the word transcript is, there are 3 little dots. Click on them. Step 6, a statement that says toggle transcripts will show up. Click on it and it will remove those timestamps, unless you want them for some reason, but most people don't. Step 7, copy and paste the transcript into a document. Now, it will have no editing, so you're going to have to go through it and edit it yourself, including all the things we've discussed above. But again, you're at a good starting point. There's no denying it. Regardless of whether you have the scripts to start with or you have to retrieve them, you're likely to end up cutting 10 to 30% of the stuff you've pasted in. When you're finished, you're ready to start getting your work ready for publication. There are a few other things you need to do besides creating the manuscript, but the manuscript is probably the hardest part and the most important part if we're going to be honest, but it's only part of the picture. To make sure you don't miss any crucial step, click on the link that has appeared on your YouTube screen for a step-by-step guide on getting your opus magnum onto the bookshelves and into the hands of your potential audience. Good luck.